Today we start article potential energy of a magnetic dipole. So in electric dipole, in case of electric dipole, potential energy of electric dipole moment is capital P. In electric intensity, E is given by this formula. So minus P bar dot E bar. P is electric dipole moment, E is electric intensity. Analogously, similarly, magnetic dipole moment we can write by using a formula minus mu bar dot B bar. So here mu bar is a magnetic dipole moment and B is magnetic induction. Because here we use the analogous term, P is analogous to mu, means electric dipole moment is analogous to magnetic dipole moment. Electric intensity is analogous to magnetic induction. So we use analogy and then we get the formula for potential energy of dipole is magnetic dipole is given by this formula. Now here the special cases we can learn. If theta is equal to 0, then if we substitute here cos 0, then cos 0 is 1. So we get this potential energy minus mu b. And this potential energy is the minimum because here the minus sign is there. If we substitute theta is 180 degree. And then cos 180 is minus 1. And minus 1 in this minus mu b is coming plus mu b. Here, potential energy of the dipole is maximum. Now, next article we already started in the last lecture is moving coil galvanometer. It is abbreviated as MCG. In previous chapter also, we already learned how we convert, means in that current electricity chapter, how we convert this moving coil galvanometer into ammeter as well as into voltmeter. Now here, the moving coil galvanometer is a device which detects current. The device which detects the current. Now let's see the construction. It consists of rectangular coil. You can see this coil. So this is the rectangular coil. And this coil is moving between the two poles. So it is called as a moving coil galvanometer. So it is made of thin insulated copper wire freely suspended between the concave poles. Concave means this type of pole. You can see in a second diagram, this is a concave pole. So it is freely suspended between two concave poles of horseshoe type magnet. The coil is free to rotate around the soft iron cylinder. You can see here, this is soft iron cylinder by means of fiber of phosphor bronze. So you can see here the fiber of phosphor bronze. Okay. Coil suspended by using this fiber of phosphorus bronze. The current enter the coil through the fiber and leave through spring attached at the lower end. You can see here the current enter in a coil through this fiber and leave through lower spring. A small plane mirror is fixed to the suspension fiber used to detect or used to note deflection of the coil. Deflection of coil is measured by using this mirror. So this is the construction of moving coil galvanometer. So why we are using this radial magnetic field or the concave pole? The reason is if the coil is displaced, let I show the another position of the coil. If the coil is displaced and the new position of the coil is this, that time also the magnetic field does not change. So magnetic field does not change, and because of that we are using these concave poles. The concave poles produces a radial magnetic field and the coil is moving inside the radial magnetic field that you note here. After this moving coil galvanometer construction, we have to see the principle of working of moving coil galvanometer. Now here, when the current is passed through this moving coil galvanometer, it experiences a torque. You can see in the previous diagram. So when the current is passed, this coil experiences a torque. How much torque is experienced by the coil that we already derived in the previous article? And the torque is given by the formula NIAB sin theta. This is the formula of the torque which we already derived. For radial magnetic field, I told you this concave poles produces radial magnetic field. So always here the angle is 90. Theta is 90. So sin 90 is 1. So here we can write here torque is equal to NIAB. NIAB is the torque. Under the effect of this torque, the coil rotates, twisting the suspension fiber. As the coil rotates, the fiber get twisted. Fiber get twisted and producing restoring torque. Produces restoring torque, and that restoring torque is proportional to the rotation of the coil. So let I consider here phi is the angle of rotation or angle of deflection here. So here, so torque is equal to K into phi. K is a constant here, and it is also called as torque per unit deflection. So this is a deflecting torque, and this is restoring torque. Now here for equilibrium, when the pointer of the galvanometer is steady, pointer is steady means the deflecting torque and restoring torque both are same. So here deflecting torque is equal to restoring torque, and this is a deflecting torque, this is a restoring torque. So let me equate it. So we get formula NIAB is equal to K into phi. So phi is the angle of deflection. So we get formula I is equal to K divided by NBA into phi. So this is the current passing through the coil. So this N, A, B are constant. K is already constant. So here we can write I proportional to this, I proportional to phi. It means that current passing through coil and this deflection of the coil, they are proportional. It means that larger the current pass through the coil, larger the deflection we get. And this is working principle of moving coil galvanometer. So current passing through MCG is directly proportional to the angle of deflection of coil. So this is working principle. So this is very important article. You remember this formula of the current for the problem, as well as the working principle of the moving coil galvanometer is current directly proportional to the deflection. Now, let me learn one problem based on this. A moving coil galvanometer has fitted with rectangular coil, 50 tons, number of tons, dimension 5 centimeter into 3 centimeter. I mean, this is area. So 5 into 3, 15 centimeters square. You can see here. The radial magnetic field in which the coil is suspended is 0.05 Weber per meter square is the magnetic field. Torsional constant means the K. Torsional constant is 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 9 Newton meter per degree. Calculate current required to be passed through galvanometer so as to produce deflection 30 degrees. So we have to find out current. This is the formula. So after substituting everything, so we get value of the current is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5 ampere. Now after that, listen, So we have to start part B of this chapter, so which is related to the magnetic effect of electric current. And the first point of this part is Biot-Savart's law. Now, what is the statement of the Biot-Savart law that we have to learn? So before that, what the Biot-Savart law tells us? We already learned when the current is passed through conductor, a magnetic field is produced in its surrounding area. Now, how much magnetic field is produced in its surrounding area, that we can calculate by using Biot-Savart law. Now, suppose we consider this is a current carrying conductor which carries current I. You can see in the diagram. Now, this is the point P, which is at a distance r from a smaller length of this conductor. It's a length element, if we consider dl. And from that length element, this point is at a distance r. Then at point P, how much is the magnetic field, that we can find out by using Biot-Savart law. The magnetic induction at a point due to small element of current carrying conductor is, first point, directly proportional to current. In this magnetic induction, let I use symbol dB. At any point here, it is proportional to the current. Means more the current, more the magnetic field produced at that point. Now, second point, it is directly proportional to length of the element. It means that this magnetic field proportional to length element dl. You can see here, this is the length element. Means larger the length of conductor, larger the magnetic field. Third point, directly proportional to sine of the angle between length element. So this is the length element. And the line joining center of element to the point. And this is the line. And this angle, you can see here, this angle is theta. Means here we can write this magnetic induction proportional to sine of this theta. And the fourth point, this magnetic induction inversely proportional to the distance, to the square of the distance, inversely proportional to the square of the distance of the point from center of the element, means this r. So we can write, it means that this magnetic induction inversely proportional to distance square. So these are the four observations of the Biot-Savart law. If we combine these four observations, we get Biot-Savart law in mathematical form. Now let me combine it. So we get here Biot-Savart law. And it is dB proportional to I dl sine theta. So this dB proportional to I proportional to dl proportional to sine theta inversely proportional to r square. So we combine everything, we get this as a mathematical equation of Biot-Savart law. Now let me replace this proportionality sign by is equal to sign. Then we have to write constant. So constant K you can see on screen. K is the proportionality constant and its value is mu 0 upon 4 pi. The value is mu 0 upon 4 pi. Now let me substitute the value of K, then we get dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sine theta by r square. This is a magnetic induction at any point near current carrying conductor. In vector form, we can write this equation like this. So this is the vector form. Now here, the difference is in magnitude, it is r square and here r cube. How it is? Now let I explain. If we elaborate this, then we get mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl bar cross r bar. dl bar cross r bar is coming dl into r into sine theta and divided by this r cube. Then here this r and from r cube, one r get cancelled, so it is r square. So we get formula mu 0 upon 4 pi I into this dl into this sine theta divided by r square. The same formula we get here. So you remember here the vector form is little different. This is, and this magnetic induction is directed perpendicular to the length of element and line joining the center of element and the point in a sense given by right hand thumb rule. So by right hand thumb rule, the direction of magnetic field you can see here. After Biot-Savart law, next article we have to start, and it is magnetic induction due to a straight conductor carrying current. This is a derivation. Magnetic induction due to straight conductor carrying current. Now we consider a straight conductor which carry a current. So you can see here, this is a current carrying conductor. I can show little larger current carrying conductor. So which carry current I. So through this conductor, current I is flowing. Consider straight conductor. The name you can see here, XY, which carry current I. Imagine the conductor to be divided into large number of length element. I consider one of the small length element is dl. So we have to consider this current carrying conductor divided into small length element dl. The magnetic induction at point P due to current element dl at a distance r is given by. So means here this is a dl is the length element which is present at point O. So you can see here the length element is at point O and magnetic induction at point P due to this length element. The distance of the P from the element is R, you can see in the diagram. It is given by this formula by Biot-Savart law mu 0 by 4 pi I dl sine theta by R square. This is equation number 1. Now here let me use some trigonometry here. In right angle triangle PQO, you can see here this is a P, this is Q and this is O. In this PQO triangle, theta is equal to this theta. So this angle is 90 degree. So this is phi. Then this theta is equal to, we can write 90 minus phi. You can see here this theta is 90 minus phi. Now let I take here sine of both the sides, means left hand side and right hand side. Sine theta is equal to sine 90 minus phi. But you know that sine 90 minus phi is cos phi. So we get formula sine theta is equal to cos phi. So this is theta and this is phi. Sine 90 and cos phi both are same. Also, cos phi is equal to, by trigonometry, so this is a phi, cos phi is adjacent side. So this is adjacent side divided by hypotenuse, which is r. So cos phi is a by r. So cos phi is equal to a by r. So r is equal to a upon cos phi. So this is r by using a trigonometry. So further tan phi is equal to tan phi. Tan means what? opposite by adjacent. Now here this opposite side we consider L and this adjacent is A. So tan phi is equal to this L by A. So you can see here tan phi is equal to L by A. So L is equal to A tan phi. So we get formula of L. Now we differentiate it. After differentiating we get dl is equal to A. Then tan phi is sec square phi into d phi. In a mathematics you come to know that how we get the derivative of tan phi. As well as we already learned some formulas of differentiation in 11th standard chapter mathematical method also. So remember here derivative of this is dl is equal to A sec square phi into d phi. So here we get, so here we get some terms. First one is dl we get, so this is dl. Now sine theta we get, you can see here this is sine theta. Sine theta is what, cos phi or sine 90 minus phi. Then r, so we get r is equal to this. So we can substitute this value of dl sine theta and r square in equation 1. Substituting, you can see here sine theta, dl and r in equation 1 we get. So these values we have to substitute here. Then after substitution, what equation we get? So this dB is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi is a constant. I, dl, this is a dl. Sin theta and cos phi both are same. So instead of sin theta, cos phi. Divided by r square. So r is a by cos phi. So r square is a square divided by cos square phi. Now here, we can write the same equation like this, mu 0 divided by 4 pi as it is. Now a sec square phi into d phi into this cos phi divided by this a square. 1 by cos square phi is equal to sec square phi. Now here this sec means this sec square and this sec square get cancelled. Okay, this a and 1a from a square get cancelled, so we get this term mu 0 upon 4 pi I. So this I forget here, I into this cos phi. So this I, this cos phi and this d phi divided by a divided by a. This is equation number 2. So this is magnetic induction at that point due to a small length element. Total magnetic induction at point P is given by total magnetic induction. We can integrate it between these limits phi 1 and phi 2. You can see here. So this in the diagram, phi 1 is this angle and phi 2 is this angle. Because we have to find out magnetic induction at point P due to this part of the wire. So this phi 1 and phi 2 angle we have to consider. Okay. Now, so integrating this dB means equation number 2 we get the total magnetic induction. So pay attention here. Let me substitute dB here. Mu 0 by 4 pi is constant, I and A is constant. So this constant taken out. So integration of cos phi d phi only. The cos phi having an integration of sin phi. Cos phi is equal to, means integration of cos phi d phi is sin phi. So that you can see here. The limits are minus phi 1 and phi 2. Now let me substitute the limit. So this constant as it is, instead of this phi, we substitute upper limit phi 2. We can substitute here. Minus sign and then lower limit. Minus sign minus phi. So we substituted here limit. So by substituting we get here. So mu 0 I divided by 4 pi A is a constant. It is as it is. Then this sine minus phi 1. So it is plus sine phi 1 we get. So sine phi 1 plus sine phi 2. So this is a magnetic induction. For a conductor whose length is infinite, if the length of the conductor is infinite, then this is the point P. So then this angle phi 1 and phi 2 are, this is phi 1 and this angle is phi 2. So both are 90 degree. So phi 1 and phi 2 90. Because if the length of the conductor is infinity, that time only. If the length of the conductor is xy, then this is the phi 1 and this is phi 2. So that you note. Now let me substitute phi 1 and phi 2 for infinite length conductor. Then we get here mu 0 I divided by 4 pi a. In a bracket sine 90 plus sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So here this is coming 2. 2 into this constant. So we get B is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi 2 I upon A. Or this 2 and this 4. So we can write this formula like this. Mu 0 I upon 2 pi A is the magnetic induction at any point near long straight current carrying conductor. And this magnetic induction directed perpendicular to the plane of paper. I hope you understood this. It's a problem very long straight wire carries a current 5.2 ampere. So this is the current. What is the magnitude of magnetic field at a point 3.1 centimeter from wire? So this is A, this is I. So this centimeter we can convert into the meter by multiplying 10 raised to minus 2. So 3.2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter. So this is the current. Now after substitution in a formula. So remember here, you instead of this you can use this formula also. B is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi then 2I by A. Because this total term is 10 raised to minus 7. Then 2 into I is 5.2. Divided by A is 3.2 into 10 raised to minus 2. So that you can remember. Otherwise, you can use this formula also. Both are equivalent. You can see here this formula or this formula. Any one formula you can use. So obviously here pi get cancelled and you get the same term here. So after solving this, we get magnetic induction is equal to 3.354 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla, or you can use unit Weber per meter square. This is a magnetic induction.